Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of Blureel Studios. My name is Glenn. It's been a long time since I've made one of these videos. Well, in the meantime, since I've been away, a lot of things have happened. I became a father. I have a son now, which is really weird to say, and it's amazing, and it's tiring, and it's an adventure. The adventure of a lifetime, one might say. But this video will talk about the brand new additions that have yet still found their way to our little family over here. The legacy my son will inherit one day. So join me, won't you, on the brand new episode of Blureel Studio. Roll the intro! So, since we last spoke, a lot of movies joined the collection. Some Blu-rays, one Steelbook, which I'm really excited about, and also a 4K collection of films, which we'll talk about in a second. But first up, we'll talk about the regular Blu-rays. This is going to be a short and sweet episode because I really wanted to get to my first ever movie review on this channel. Which film it's going to be on is a surprise. You'll see it on the next episode. But we'll dive into the films, won't we? First up, we have the Scream Factory Collector's Edition for Day of the Dead. One of my favorite films of all time. Certainly one of the greatest zombie films of all time. And one of the most underrated movies of all time. If you're familiar with Stranger Things, you would recognize this movie from this first episode of the third season, which showed some appreciation for this classic cult film, let's say, one of Romero's best, and certainly one of my favorite films of all time. So the Scream Factory Blu-ray comes with a lot of bonus features, which I'll just showcase right here. And I can't wait to dive in. Really, I can't wait. Day of the Dead. When I found some time a couple of weeks ago, I found my way back to Just Movies, my favorite store in the bloody world, and I picked up a franchise that has been going on for years now, and I never really got into. I saw the first two films when they were released back in the day. They were kind of the rage among the youth, let's say, and I saw, I think, the fifth one on Netflix, and I loved it. It's the Fast and Furious franchise, the complete series on Blu-ray, which I got for a ridiculously cheap price. So let's just dive into them, shall we? The Fast and the Furious, it's Point Break, but with street race. Too Fast, Too Furious is the meme we all know and love. The Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is the film I never seen, and it's also a meme. Fast and Furious, not to be confused with The Fast and the Furious, which makes it confusing, is the fourth installment, and is, from what I can tell, the first kind of steps into the reimagination of this franchise. Fast and Furious 5 introduces Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the franchise and is legitimately a fantastic blockbuster. A dumb story, but with fantastic car stunts. I really like this film quite a bit. Fast and Furious 6, I've never seen, but kind of builds on what the fifth one did. Fast and Furious 7, yeah, this is going to be a tearjerker once I finally get into this franchise, I believe. I hear good things about it, but, you know, tragedy making this film. We all know about it, but I can't actually wait to see this film. I really liked Paul Walker as an actor, and he sorely is missed. Fast and Furious 8, or Fate of the Furious, whatever, with Charlize Theron. Yeah, you know. Why not put a car chase with a submarine in there? Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. I don't know, man. This franchise is ludicrous. Oh shit, did I just say that? But I really legitimately can't wait to dive into these movies. They're, from what I can tell, dumb fun. And the stunt work in these movies legitimately is fantastic at times. So I can't wait to dive into them. Up next, two of my favorite horror films of all time, which is painful to say because the man who made the films, who written and directed them, is a creep himself. The less said about him, the better. Although these movies are made by more people than just him, so I can appreciate Jeepers Creepers 1 quite a bit. I love this edition. I love this movie. Justin Long is actually really great in the film. It has a fantastic movie monster, a fantastic and creepy kind of story behind it. And I actually really do love this film quite a bit. I actually saw the second one first in theaters when it was released, and I was terrified. I was 13 years old at the time, so that might have added to the drama. But the first one I only saw on a Halloween night a couple of years after, and I actually really loved this movie so much. And watching this after seeing the second one, I actually was like, where in the world is that song in the second one? The Jeepers Creepers song. Which brings me to Jeepers Creepers 2, a actually pretty damn great sequel to the first one, if you're a fan of the first one. It builds on what was established in the first one, and you might not notice, but the second one, the first one also is actually executive produced by Francis Ford Coppola. Yes. Speaking of Francis Ford Coppola, director of The Godfather, today we got the sad news that James Caan has passed away, which is tremendously sad. He's a fantastic actor, and I loved him in The Godfather, and yeah, it's a terrible loss. The man turned 82, which is nothing to scoff at, but yeah, what a tremendous talent that has left us, unfortunately. Up next, one of the most divisive films of last year. A horror film that is so unique and yet takes elements from horror films from different eras, from the 80s, from the early 2000s. It's a slasher film unlike any and just like many. Weird to say, but Malignant is an enigma. I love this movie, but I don't get it at times, or I think I don't get it. The big question here is, what was James Wan going for? Was he trying to be funny, or was it accidental? And yet, when you see like the prison scene, you're like, he is trying to be funny, right? Or is he? It's such a weird movie, and that's kind of why I love it so much. Malignant is a sight to behold. I can recommend it just for being crazy out there, and has a killer, let's say, who is so unique and so awesome, and he has a murder weapon that makes it even better. And also, there's like one of the best action scenes in recent history in this little horror movie that makes zero sense. So, it's a sight to behold. In just movies, I picked up a film I've seen countless times, and I like and hate at the same time. Troy, the director's cut, directed by Wolfgang Peterson, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed. Starring Brad Pitt in a miscasted role, and yet still he is fantastic at times. Like, the action scenes are phenomenal because of his dedication to the role, but giving Brad Pitt an English accent or a British accent, pick up your sword and you suck a wine. It's such a memeable movie. It's such a long monstrosity. It's almost 200 minutes long. Who has the time? It's all part of the plan. Troy, I like the film, but it's, it's not a Saturday afternoon kind of movie. Or is it? Because most people have time on Saturday afternoons. Killing Them Softly, I think one of Brad Pitt's most underrated movies, starring also James Gandolfini, rest in peace, as well as Ray Liotta, who we recently lost as well, which is a damn shame, because talent in this movie, the talent on display here is just insane, and it makes the film so much better for it. I love this movie. It's fantastic. It's not just a gangster movie or an action film. It's so much more, and it's so much better than the sum of its parts, I feel like. one of the best comedies of all time, one of the best films of last year, or no, this year, one of the best times I've had in a theater in such a long time. Jackass Forever is brilliant. And I wasn't a fan of this film being made because Ryan Dunn passing away years ago and Bam Margera kind of losing his mind in such a public manner. It's so sad to see. And to me, it felt like, it only served to destroy friendships at this point, and I didn't want that to happen. And luckily, it just is fantastic. The new additions to the Jackass family are phenomenal. Poopies and Zach are so fucking funny, dude. This movie is hilarious, and if people still don't get why we like this movie, it's fine. We don't like them because people are getting hurt per se. We like them because they are so creative. The stunts they come up with, the work they put into to make the stunts, like the dressing up, and the set design, and the little jokes that are put in before and during are so unique, and it's the kind of humor that you would have amongst friends, and these movies make you feel like you're part of that friend group. Because what comes through in all of these movies, and even in a TV show, is that these are just friends having fun. These are friends having a laugh with each other, and that is what makes these movies so great. I love this movie. It's so funny. Aaron is the star in this one. He steals the show. If you haven't seen it already, and if you're kind of on the fence about it because of the fact that Bam Margera is not involved, because Ryan Dunn sadly passed away, give it a chance. It's fantastic. It really is. It is fantastic. We got the regular Blu-rays out of the way. We're gonna dive into the 4K films that have joined the family. A film that I had been eyeing for a long time to pick up on Blu-ray. I still own the DVD for it. I didn't even own a Blu-ray. Is Die Hard. Bruce Willis recently announced that he was quitting acting. An end of an era. And yeah, the man has provided us with some of the greatest action films of all time. He's a fantastic actor. The man deserves his retirement. Best of luck to you. I wish you good fortune, good health if you ever see this. But Die Hard is an iconic movie. It's one of the greatest action films of all time, and giving that film the 4K treatment, of course, finally, it joined the family. Die Hard. I was looking for Die Hard with a Vengeance on 4K as well, but that film is impossible to find at the moment on 4K. So, if any of you ever find a copy, let me know. If you know anything about me, if you know my channel, you know that I'm a huge kaiju fan. Small kaijus aren't kaijus. That's a dumb joke. But this box set came floating by. And the funny thing about it is that it features 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films. Godzilla vs. Kong, King of the Monsters, The Meg, Rampage, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla 2014, and Pacific Rim. And you could get a box set with just the MonsterVerse films, so basically Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, and Kong Skull Island, the 4 films, for double the price of this packaging. So, obviously I picked it up, even though The Meg is not that great and Rampage is I was like, you know what, I'll pick these up. So, let's just dive into each film individually. Godzilla 2014, fantastic film. I love this one. It just has too little of Bryan Cranston. Kong Skull Island, I think this movie is criminally underrated. It's not perfect, but are you really looking for that? Maybe you should, but this film is fantastic. Great cinematography, fantastic special effects. It just focuses on the wrong characters. Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston are beautiful, gorgeous people you'd love to have on camera, but the interesting characters are with John C. Reilly and Samuel L. Jackson, of course. Godzilla King of the Monsters fixes the biggest problem of Godzilla 2014 and gives us more Godzilla. But is it better? No, it's not. It's still a lot of fun though. Godzilla vs. Kong. I love this movie. It's really dumb, and that's why I love it. Making Kong the main character is the perfect way to go. Pacific Rim, one of the best kaiju films of all time, because it provides exactly what it needs to. Fantastic monsters, fantastic action scenes, and it's shot in a way, and it's made in a way to make you feel the size and scope of these creatures and robots fighting each other. Perfect movie. Rampage, Big Meets Bigger. It's the mehest film that has ever made. I still like it though. The Meg, I recently rewatched it. This movie is hilarious, but not in the way the marketing wanted you to believe it is. It's just stupid. It's not that fantastic. It's not that great. The biggest flaw in this movie, I feel, is that the Meg doesn't feel big. It feels phony. It's too fast for some reason. There's one shot I really like in this movie, and it's where a little girl, whose name I can't even remember because the characters are so forgettable in this movie. But when the little girl is walking around in this underwater facility and we see the Meg slowly approaching behind her through the glass, I love that scene because it's moving slowly and it's eerie. And then the rest of the movie is like moving like he's a torpedo, and it's stupid. Maybe that's how it would be. I just don't like it that much. The Meg is meh. Nice little box set for a fantastic price. One of the best films of the year, in my opinion. One of the best movie-going experiences for me was a DC film. Go figure. The DCEU has imploded and yet still is alive because Aquaman 2 is coming out, which I'm actually excited for. Yeah, Shazam is getting a sequel from what I understand. The Flash movie is a bit of a mess because its main actor is a bit of a mess. Yeah, Ezra Miller is being accused of kidnapping. Such a weird turn of events. So basically, Ezra Miller was method acting for the film We Need to Talk About Kevin, and just never stopped. That joke will only make sense if you've ever seen We Need to Talk About Kevin. If you didn't, we need to talk about that. The film I'm talking about is The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves. Fantastic film. Fantastic rendition of the Batman. Robert Pattinson is a fantastic actor, and he proves it in this movie. He is so great as this character. Who would have thought? We've had some great incarnations of the character, some iconic ones. It's like playing James Bond. You have to really nail this performance or you're gonna get crucified. And Robert Pattinson actually did a fantastic job with this movie. I really like it. The Riddler is scary, intimidating, or unhinged, let's say. I like this movie a lot. It really is a detective film, which at the end of the day, that is what Batman is supposed to be, a detective. He's called the world's greatest detective. And in this movie, he is challenged. He has to earn his stripes as a detective. I like this movie. Fantastic performances. It looks fantastic. It has some great cinematography, some fantastic costume design. It's just great. The score is fantastic, even though it's kind of overused at times. And now that I say that, you're gonna notice it, aren't you? I'm sorry about that. But the Steelbook is still in the plastic, and I'm kind of hesitant to take it out. And you know what? Screw it. Here it is, the Steelbook for the Batman in full glory. On the back we have Catwoman. There we go. We open it up and we have 2 discs. Oh, they're kind of loosey-goosey. One in black and one in red. The 4K version of the film, and of course the Blu-ray version of the film, which I'm trying to take out. There we go. Oh shit, son. Oh, there's a bonus disc in here as well. Look at that. The Riddler. You slimy bastard. You just hit there, didn't you? Plus a bonus exclusivo. There we go. And we have the engine for the new and improved Batmobile. I actually like this rendition of the Batmobile. It just feels like a just tuned up car. Great movie. Fantastic. And I think DC should do more of this. Their attempts at copying Marvel have failed spectacularly. The biggest success they've had is Aquaman and Joker. Go figure. Joker is a standalone movie, which is getting a sequel that is supposedly being turned into a musical. We'll have to see how that works out. But for all intents and purposes, Joker is fantastic, and it's just better they do their own thing, really. That's probably best. That was it for this episode, by the way. Thank you so much for watching. In the next episode, I'm hopefully going to make my first ever movie review for one of my favorite films of all time. And I'll give you a hint. It's on the screen right now. You can see it on the screen right now. Where is it? Well, that's for you to figure out. I will see you in the next episode of Blureel Family. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Ciao. Oh, please. Please let the recording... Please let the recording be uncorrupted. Please. Please don't do this to me.